How's it going today, guys? Another little interesting tidbit for you today. Most of the problem with cases is people don't look at the basic simple things. If they looked at the basic simple things, life would be so easy if you just went from zero forward instead of starting at step 17, 18, 19, etc., which everybody does. No one's ever been taught do it from the beginning, do it correctly, do it the right way, research what you're doing, because by the time you get in trouble it's really too late. But I'm going to give you some basic things like I always do, and if you go through and you look at all of my videos, of course this is not legal advice in any way. I'm not an attorney. This is kind of a hobby, and all I'm doing is sharing my thoughts. This cannot be considered legal advice in any way. You take things at your own risk. Now, very simple method really for ending the court case. Well, first off, you have a preliminary trial or a preliminary hearing, let's say, by a person that's stating that they're a magistrate or they're a judge. I seriously doubt if they are. Even if they are, they don't have the right amount of judges in there, and probably they're not qualified. I'm sure of it. You might want to look that up. Now, Title 18, 1481, I would start there. Now, the first thing is, do you realize that you have an attorney, an attorney, an attorney? Do you realize that all of them are attorneys? All of them. The judge is an attorney, the prosecutor is an attorney, and your attorney is an attorney. Well, he's really not your attorney. He works for the court, the public, and not to the client. Corpus Juris Secundum, Volume 7, Section 4, if you'd like to look it up. Now, my thoughts are, and I've been there many times, who is these people? Who are they? Where did they come from? How do they have power? Well, they're administrating an estate for the baby, the all-capital corporate baby, and they act like you hired them. And they force the attorneys on you. The clerk appoints the judge, aka attorney. Okay? The attorney that's sitting at your table files a thing with the court called leave to proceed, where he gives up jurisdiction and any harmless error, which everything will be a harmless error. The prosecutor, your other attorney, one of your other attorneys, goes to the recorder's office and puts your name at the top as his assumed name, or her, and then they put their prosecutor man name at the bottom, or their prosecutor name at the bottom. Therefore, they're you in your own skin. They're your lawyer too. So let's say the judge says, do you have anything to say before you get sentenced? And then you talk or whatever, apologize or whatever method you try to use in your mind. And then he says, will the defendant please rise? Well, why is it that your lawyer that's at your table and the prosecutor that's at the plaintiff's table, why do they all stand up? Now think about this. Anybody that's logical, that really thinks about what I'm saying, aren't they your attorneys too? Well, I got news for you. They're all your attorneys, and you're involved in a trust, and they're doing silent judicial notice, and they're making you liable, and they're plundering you. And yes, the judge took notice that you really didn't tell him who you were. So they appointed you trustee when the judge has been appointed trustee, but they did the old okey doke abracadabra smoke and mirror on you, right in front of you. And they're smiling the whole way. So think about this concept. What if, let's say, what if, remember this is only information purposes only. What if you fired them all individually, which would have to be individually? What if you fired all of them, fired the stenographer, fired the investigators that are up on the right-hand side, or the paralegals that did the documents for the prosecutor that's setting in on this, and you don't know who those people up in the corner in the audience is? Well, they're court investigators, they're paralegals, and they all write briefs for the prosecutor to help you go to prison, to help you lose your children, to prove you're a dum-dum, because all this secret stuff is going on. Fire them. Anytime you ever get in that room again and someone's in there, they have no authority, tell them they don't have any authority. Quit giving out your social security number so they can go in and plunder the case. Quit giving them your name so they can write you up. Fire all of them. Hey, here's another concept. Isn't the police officer, or whatever they want to call them, a public servant, and you're the person, we the people, that really should be explaining to them their powers and not saying that the police have power over you, because you have power over them. They're public servants. Fire them. Call them all up and fire them. Send them all notices through the mail, registered mail, make them all sign for it. Fire them. Now don't go doing crime or rapes or murders or robberies or anything like that. They're going to dust you. I'm just saying for a friend. Okay, this is just information purposes only and thoughts of one man. So very carefully write things down that I say so you don't get them out of line, or you don't get a misunderstanding. Don't do radical things, but fire them. Fire them and they can't proceed. How are they going to put anybody in that position? Notify the clerk of courts, which has the treasury account. Got me? She's the one that creates the security that lets them play their little game, that they don't have proper documents in your file, which she is the document custodian. Things are missing. Things are not sealed correctly. They haven't been trained properly. Let me just say that again. They have not been trained properly. They've been trained in fraud and BS. Tell the clerk of courts they haven't been trained properly. She's missing documents and she's the document custodian. Nicely get copies of those documents and then tell her you gotta go. She's injuring a real man. I'm just saying. Notify the clerk that all the parties have been fired in writing. Get it notarized. Go get it apostilled at the Secretary of State's office and see what they do with that. I'm just saying. So I may have let out a little bit too much information on this video, but that's okay. Please don't call me and waste my time unless you're going to have me do something for a donation, please. Sometimes I'm so busy I can't answer the phone. Please be patient. I hope you liked the video today. I was a little squirrely, but I hope that you like that and that you understand what I'm trying to say. Because the things I say is a real big deal. I've seen people walk out of those rooms, out of those courtrooms, and never went to jail, and they never pursued them. But you can't do this every day, and you can't be a maverick. You just can't do it. You'll have bad problems. But if something, an oops, happens and they accuse you of something you didn't do, which is every damn day, these are just some tactics that you can use to end this or to get them to give up. Now you can't make them give up, but you can fire them. Have a nice day.